We have breaking news on a double homicide investigation right now in Greene County tonight. We now know a man and a woman were killed at a home early this morning in Willard. Police have identified the two as 28-year-old Alexander Shute and 30-year-old Brianna Sproul. The Willard Police Chief Tom McLean says officers believe the people involved are still on the loose. Investigators also believe the case is just specific to this family. McLean says officers are confident they'll be able to solve the crime in a respectable time frame. He says they'll follow up on many leads in the next several days. McLean also told us over the phone, "You don't come into Willard and kill our citizens," quote, "and get away with it." This is still a developing story. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
First tonight, Willard police are still searching for clues in a homicide that happened over the weekend. Michael Van Scoik spoke with the Willard chief of police today about the ongoing investigation. He is live with the latest update. Michael.
Yeah, Lee, we still have no suspect information or any arrests have been made in this homicide that took place over the weekend. But the police chief reassured me today that they have made great strides since this weekend. He says sometimes those cases take patience and diligence.
2 of our citizens were shot to death at their residence.
Early Saturday morning, police responded here to this house at the intersection of Main and Mill. That's when police found 28-year-old Alexander Shute and 30-year-old Brianna Sproul dead at their home. Willard Police Chief Tom McLean says the homicide was not a random act.
These folks in Willard were targeted.
McLean says investigators do have leads in the case, but
while I am not willing to talk about particular suspects or motives or things of that nature, we are, as I said earlier, confident that we are on the right track.
In his time as chief, McLean says cases like these in a small town like Willard are out of the ordinary. According to court records, Shute had filed for a divorce back in 2018. Records show just last month, Shute's ex-wife motioned for a family access order subcase. In the meantime, police are still searching and seeking tips. McLean even says he would welcome people reaching out to him directly. He recalled a case from the 1990s when he first started in Willard. While it just involved a stolen car, he says his prompt to solve this case is no different.
Well, you don't steal cars in Willard and think you're going to get away with it. The same holds true to something even more true and something as egregious as this. No, sir.
McLean says he's resolved all of the homicide cases that have happened while he has been the chief here in Willard. He says those have ended with convictions and arrests. He says he's hopeful and confident that this one will end just the same. From Willard tonight, I'm Michael Van Scoik.
A week ago today, 2 people were found dead at this home in Willard. Police are still actively investigating the double homicide case. Michael Van Scoik spoke with the mother of one of those killed.
Alex was just a light in this world.
A father, a son, and a National Guardsman. Alex Shute's mother describes her son as one who always put others before himself.
It was always about the other person. It was never about Alex. It was always about how he could make somebody else feel better.
A week ago, her son was taken from her, along with his fiancée, Brianna Sproul. 7 days later, detectives are still investigating. When was the last time you spoke with Alex?
November 12th. His birthday was November 11th. He turned 28.
Alex's mother, Lisa Peeney, shared her love for her son on Facebook and recalled the moment she first laid eyes on her son.
28 years ago today, the stork brought a 10-pound baby boy, and he was 10 pounds.
She still remembers the very last thing her son said to her.
His last words to me were, "I love you, Mom."
A phrase she raised the family on.
I always taught my children and everybody in my family, you don't hang up the phone unless you say, "I love you," even if you're mad.
A phrase that now means more than anything. Does that console you in any way?
Yes. When those are somebody's last words to you, that is something that you'll carry in your heart forever.
That night and the weeks following have been difficult and fuzzy, she says.
I know that I have to stay strong for my children. I have 7 grandchildren. one of whom is Alex's daughter.
In the past week, police have made several searches and had several interviews with the help of Highway Patrol and Springfield Police, among others. Willard Police Chief Tom McLean says he's confident an arrest is right around the corner.
We are far closer now than we were in the beginning.
In the meantime, Peony says she's trying to keep her mind on those good times.
You know, I only was allowed to have him for 28 years, but they were the best 28 years of my life. Part of him is gone, but part of him still lives on. And for that, I'm very grateful.
From Willard tonight, I'm Michael Van Scoyk.
Willard Police Chief Tom McLean tells us he anticipates multiple arrests in this case. Police are also still actively seeking any tips.
New details tonight on a Willard homicide investigation that's been going on for almost 3 weeks now. Police have made their first arrest in the killing of Alex Shute and Brianna Sproul. Matthew Plum, seen here, now in jail, charged with first-degree murder. Michael Van Scoyk is in Willard right now with what we know so far.
Ethan, police say that Plum is just one of several people that's possibly connected to the death of Shute and Sproul. They were killed here outside their home last month.
I'm very grateful that the police are moving in a positive motion. On the other hand, we've got a lot of questions still.
Tonight, a mother and investigators with more answers, hopefully bringing them one step closer to solving a case.
It's kind of a mixed bag of emotions.
On Saturday, November 14th, Willard police responded to this house after a shots fired call. That's when police found Brianna Sproul and Alex Shute dead from gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. Police also found Shute's 4-year-old child alone inside a bathroom. Tonight, Matthew Plum is the first to face charges. Willard Police Chief Tom McLean says countless efforts have made this first arrest a possibility.
We're delighted to be at the place where we're beginning to, take action.
Court documents tell us multiple people could be involved in the crime, and Matthew Plum assisted those involved with the killings. Plum and the other people involved worked together at a Springfield Pizza Hut. Police say Plum admitted to telling the others how to report a gun as stolen. They also say he admitted to helping create an alibi for those involved. Records also show he admitted to later hiding a gun in a creek near Rutledge Wilson Farm. Chief McLean says up until now,
all the time that we've spent to date has been investigating and uncovering facts and things along those lines, and now comes the time where we begin to take action, and so we are.
It's not clear yet when more charges will come down in this case. Chief McLean says that he believes they still need to gather some more evidence and go through some data. From Willard tonight, I'm Michael Van Scoyk.
2 more people now charged with murder in the shooting deaths of a Willard couple. Duncan Bogle and Teresa Cox were arrested in California by U.S. Marshals yesterday. Michael Van Scoyk is in Willard right now with a closer look at the investigation and how family is handling this news.
Ethan, these most recent arrests come nearly a month after Alex Shute and Brianna Sproul were shot and killed at their home here in Willard. The police chief says today that this last month has been filled with countless efforts that all led up to this moment.
There's a heavy weight that any agency would feel when it comes to a case like this. That's what makes this day all the more satisfying.
Nearly 1 month ago, police found Brianna Sproul and Alex Shute shot and killed outside their Willard home. U.S. Marshals tracked suspected shooter Duncan Bogle and Shute's ex-wife Teresa Cox to San Francisco, California, where they were arrested. Willard Police Chief Tom McLean says this case is one of the most serious he's dealt with since he first started in 1993.
I was tasked with calling Mom and Dad and telling them about Alexander and telling them about Brianna.
Alex Schute's mother says her family has been anxious the whole time, especially since the first arrest last week.
Ever since the first arrest happened, we've all been kind of heightened and just waiting to hear more. And we were told, be patient, be patient. And, you kind of run out of patience after a while.
And after these latest arrests,
It was like a sigh of relief. There was some definite relief there.
McLean says he felt confident the case revolved around a custody dispute. Law enforcement made multiple searches throughout, including both Cox and Bogle's homes. Detectives also searched their phone records. They say Cox and Bogle had been texting about plans involving Shute for several days. The night before they were killed, court documents show Bogle texted Cox saying, quote, "I need some time to air out my mind and get into a good place for tomorrow." Those documents also show Bogle called a friend the next day saying he did not want to kill anyone after previously telling the friend Cox was pressuring him to kill her ex. The day after the homicide, documents show Bogle told that friend, quote, "Sometimes some people have to die." Now, Peony says she still has questions, but she's eager to see justice served.
We want to face them. We want to look them in the eye and say why.
McLean says he does not rule out the possibility that more are involved in this case. Now, earlier this month, Matthew and Taryn Plum also were arrested and now facing charges in this case. From Willard tonight, I'm Michael Van Scoik.